Good afternoon. Glad to see you back after this long vacation. So I just kind of wanted to go over our pre-observation with you and just kind of just go over some things we're seeing in the classroom, some things that that you want me to observe or anything like that. But before we get started, I heard you went to Disneyland. How was your vacation?
It was good. It was very relaxing.
Great. Relaxing is always what we need, right? All right. So on the jumping into the pre-observation, again with Form A, we're just going to go over some basic things, your strengths, what do you feel your strengths are, strengths, weaknesses, things like that in the classroom, and what you want me to observe, and things like that. So I'm going to go into some questions, and you can go ahead and just answer them how you see fit. Okay? The first thing I want to know is, what are your strengths that you see in your teaching? Like, what are some things you feel like are your strengths?
As far as my teaching, I think that I have done a really good job at not only creating relationships with my students, but creating an environment to where they feel like they can answer whether they know the answer, if it's correct or not. They still feel comfortable raising their hand and speaking out and speaking to peers, knowing that it's a judgment-free classroom and they can answer however they feel.
That's good. I hear you say, like, just feeling comfortable speaking out and answering questions, which is always a plus, right? Because we're talking about student engagement, things like that. When you're doing a lesson and they're sharing with each other, what are you looking for as far as like success? Like, how do you know that they got the answer?
Based on the way that they talk to each other. So if they are formulating their sentences with academic language, that's something that I drill into them pretty hard. So using academic language, making sure that they are not only on topic, but at least talking about what we're learning in class, and then also with some exit tickets that I do at the end of lessons. That's how I can tell that they were successful.
And give me an example of what one of your exit tickets may look like.
So if we're looking at a math lesson, then an exit ticket might have 1 or 2 questions on what I just taught. Something that's quick, 5 minutes that I can check off, and then that way I can tailor my small group instruction for the next day.
Perfect. That sounds good. Okay. So what would you like me to observe and provide feedback as it pertains to your lesson and your students?
Probably student behavior and student engagement. I do have some students who don't like to engage or are having a rough time staying on task and participating. So some extended feedback on how to help with those students would be great.
What would you say their motivation factors for not being engaged? Like, what are some of the things that they're probably displaying as far as they're like kind of just off in the days? Are they socializing with peers? Like, what would be some of the things you say as a major concern as far as their engagement?
I would say that they are having some trouble socializing with peers. They're also having some trouble staying awake in class, staying attentive. Even in front of the classroom, they're having some rough time paying attention to what's going on. If it's a small group breakout, they're having trouble participating in the small group and with peers. So just some strategies I could use to get them more involved.
Okay. What will be the main learning objective for the lesson that you'll be teaching? So I know we're talking about math and everything right now, so what will be the learning objective for the math lesson?
So what I will be teaching is adding and subtracting mixed fractions. So they will be able to find the least common denominator, rename their fractions, and then add the fraction and add their whole number back into it.
And what standard are you going to be focused on?
I will be focusing on standard 5 NFA1, which is adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators and mixed numbers.
Okay, perfect. How interactive will your lesson be? Like, as far as like the students, will it be more of a question and answer? Is it going to be a peer? Is it a group situation? Like, how interactive is your lesson?
So the beginning of my lesson will start out as direct instruction, and then it will tailor down to kind of like a we do situation. So they'll help me figure out the answer to the problem, and then I will allow them to answer with their group, have a student come up and do the answer on the smart board, So it will be very much peer interactive towards the end of the lesson with me just walking around to guide.
Perfect. Okay. So when they're doing independent work, what are some of the things that I should be looking for or I should see as I'm observing them as they're doing? Like once you finish answering the questions with you and they have the independent time, what are some things I should be looking for?
You should be looking for students showing their work, staying on task, and helping other students when they notice that they are not on task or struggling with the question.
Perfect. And then with the CSTPs standards, what will best align your teaching strategies and professional goals?
I would say that the CSTP 1, which is engaging students, is something that I not only work into every lesson, but the classroom overall throughout the day. I also focus on CSTP 4, which is planning and designing my instruction. I'm always tailoring to what the students are doing and how they're responding. I'm moving as they go. And then CSTP 5 as well, which is assessing students for learning. So that would be an exit ticket, so that way I can pull a small group for further instruction.
Perfect. And you kind of mentioned this right now a second ago about like the exit tickets like that. So the next question was going to be, what teaching strategies do you plan to use to address the CSTPs?
An exit
from
the exit ticket.
Right, the exit tickets, which would be great. So again, looking at our exit tickets, the independent study work, make sure they're actually showing the work, interacting with each other, explaining it, and using academic language.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm coming around doing my observation, that's what I'm going to be looking for. Throughout your lesson, I'm going to be kind of like seeing how you transition. Okay, is that going to keep them engaged, or are they falling off during the transition time? So a lot of things is going to be, because the main focus right now I see is engagement, right? Especially when it comes to math. If they're not engaged, then we're all over the place. So I'm going to kind of just be looking for those type of deals and make sure they're paying attention to transitioning, whether you're going from decimals to subtracting, adding, whatever it may be. I want to see their focus level for the whole class. And if I can see anything that we can do differently, then I'll provide that feedback, as well as I want to hear your feedback. And, it's always differently when someone's like observing and you kind of like more hard on yourself at that time. So I want you to be hard on yourself, but I want you to kind of like pick up, like, okay, I could have did that differently too. And we can kind of collaborate and talk about those things. Because I don't want it to be, oh, this is what I'm telling you. I want it to be a collaboration where we sit down together. These things we can do differently. Okay? Or these are things that are really great.
Yeah.
So I look forward to coming and observing. We'll probably do it really soon here. And we'll just go through the class and see how it goes.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.